Hello, welcomes everyone. As in the previous video, we made a discussion about the male reproductive system. Here in this video, we will discuss about the female reproductive system. The female reproductive system consists mainly a pair of ovary, some accessory duct, and external genitalia. Paired ovary, they are located in the lower abdomen portion in the pelvis cavity of a female. Accessory ducts, a pair of fallopian tube are present here. Uterus, it is also we are considering like a accessory duct, and vagina. Now under the external genitalia, we will considering the part mons pubis, vestibule, hymen and clitoris. And one by one we will discuss in detail. So first we will discuss about the structure and function of ovary. So here you are seeing the figure of ovary. As you are seeing here in the slide, then ovary are now be located here. This white structure you are seeing here, this lobule structure, it known as ovary. One pair ovary is present in female, one in the left side and another one in the right side of the body. So the ovary pair in, so they considering dual function. They are able to release some endocrine hormone and also able to produce the female gamete, which we are simply saying ova or egg. The hormone which get now be produced by the ovary, it is known as estrogen. One another important hormone which get produced by the ovary, it is the progesterone. Simply a ovary likely with a 2 to 4 centimeter in length, but as per the shape and size of female's body, this length get now be varied from female to female. As already I told, they are located in the pelvis cavity and get now be joined with the ligaments. Now in this video, in this figure you are seeing that a sectional view of ovary. In this sectional view of ovary, here you have to understand that you will see the leveling of figure in a sequential way. That first you see that this is the primary follicle which now be growing, then get now be convert into the secondary follicle, and afterward they get now be convert into the mature follicle. Then when the follicle get mature, then they get ruptured and get released egg. So this is the ruptured follicle here you are seeing, and the process of rupturing of follicle and releasing of this egg is known as ovulation. Afterward, the remaining part of this ruptured follicle get converted into the empty follicle, which further get converted into the corpus luteum, and afterward that the what will be the future of egg. It will determine that what will be the future of corpus luteum also. If egg get now be fertilized, then corpus luteum will sustain in the ovary and help to maintain some endocrine secretion. If egg get not be fertilized, then corpus luteum get now be reduced in the female ovary. Each ovary get now be covered by a thin epithelial layer. About the epithelial tissues, you already studied in class 11. These are the covering structure. They making the different type of outer covering of different organs. So here also the ovary get covered with the epithelial layer. It is known as the ovarian stroma, actually which encloses the ovarian stroma. The stroma is divided into two portions. Outer portion is known as the cortex, and the inner is known as medulla. Ovary contain a group of Graafian follicle that already I have told you that in the beginning these are the growing follicles. We also representing them with the primary follicles, and afterward they growing and now we get converting into the secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, then the Graafian follicle, and in last they get now be ruptured and releasing the ovum. So this sectional view of ovary is now be important for you because in previous year board examination many question now we came with this relation. The question came on the basis of the labeling of this figure, and also with the help of that they also given this time because they added one more segment here for 3 marks, so they can give you a figure and ask about the description, or they can ask the related question with the figure. So you see it clearly and try to understand what is the location of different type of follicles in the ovary. Now afterward the ovary, we comes to the part of accessory ducts. These accessory ducts are mainly, we can say, the fallopian tubes, we can say the uterus, and the vagina. As known to you that ovary are in pair, so in each side ovary get now be not directly joined, but it still get indirectly get connected with the oviduct. So as the two ovaries are there, so one oviduct from each side, so simply we can say there are the two oviduct in a female body. Oviduct also known by one another name, it is the fallopian tube. So here in the figure you are seeing this now see that some enlarged view of figure. See that this is the structure of ovary that already now be known to you. It now be located here in the pelvis region, and this is the first portion of the fallopian tube or oviduct. It is known as infundibulum. Infundibulum having some finger-like projection. These projections are known as fimbriae. So fimbriae is the first portion of oviduct. Afterward the infundibulum, then ampulla. This ampulla and this long tubular structure is known as isthmus. This portion is known as ampullary isthmic junction. Now this isthmus get now be open in this bag-like structure. This bag-like structure is known as uterus or womb. This uterus get now be carried with the three walls. The outermost wall is known as perimetrium, the middle wall is known as myometrium, and the innermost wall is known as endometrium. So as you are seeing in the slide, some more comments about the fallopian tube. Here one point you can understand that when ovary get released egg, then it get now be collected by the fimbriae, and then it get now be transferred to the infundibulum, and then it get traveled to the ampullae, and now then reaching the isthmus. This is actually the main site in the human being where the fertilization get takes place. In the CBSE board examination, sometime the question came in 1 mark, and what is the site of fertilization in human being? So simply you will write the answer oviduct. In some book it is written as ampullary isthmic junction, but the better option that you write the oviduct. Now here in this slide you are seeing that about the uterus, that already I have told you it is made by three walls. The outer wall is known as perimetrium, and the thicker and most strong wall, the myometrium, is here. Myometrium is now the very important because during the parturition it developed the high contraction, which is is the cause to release the baby from the uterus. And in the endometrium, it also the very important part, because this is the layer of uterus which is get now be gone through the cyclic changes, and it is now be responsible for the menstrual cycle. So as you are seeing that uterus is now be having three parts. Upper part is known as fundus, the middle is known as body, and the lower is known as, or terminal part is known as, cervix. Here I am giving a large view of the figure, easily you can understand. This is the upper portion, fundic part. This is the body structure, and this is the terminal structure. So here you see this is the cervix, and the cervix get now be open by a cervical canal, which now be opens here in the vagina. Now, in last part of the human or female reproductive system is the vagina. It now we get consist with the opening outside the female body. So this vaginal opening get now be located between the urethra and anus. So the lumen of the vagina get now be lined by some glycogen rich mucous membrane consisting sensitive papillae and special type of glands. These are known as Bartholin's gland. These glands are now be capable to produce a secretion which lubricates the vaginal canal. As in the male part, we also learn the name of some gland which are responsible for the lubrication of the penis. Now the external genitalia part, here you will see that in the figure that this is the external genitalial part. The uppermost part having thick cushion-like structures, it is known as mons pubis. Afterward you are seeing some flap-like structures are there. So these flap-like structures are known as labia majora and labia minora. Majora are the some thick folds and minor are some thin folds. And just above the urethral opening, as you are seeing here in the figure, one structure is present. It is known as clitoris. It is a sensitive structure, and afterward you seeing that in between these foldings, what the pore is present, we are seeing simply the vagina or vaginal opening, and in the last you are seeing that the opening of rectum is there. Simply we are saying anus. One more structure here you need to understand, because some question came in the relation of that in the board examination. Hymen. Hymen is nothing is special thing, that it is a membranous structure which can now be partly covered the vaginal opening, and sometime it get now be torn by a jerk or during the coitus. It get also get torn by the high jerk, as just like the jumping or cycling or such other things. So we cannot say that this is the proof of virginity. As already I told, clitoris is a very sensitive structure lying just the front of the urethral opening. So here in this external genital part, simply we can say there are the three main openings are there. One for the urine, one for the uterus, this is the vaginal opening, and another is the anus, it is the rectal opening. Now, one more important part of the female reproductive system is the mammary glands. Here, as you are seeing the figure of mammary gland, so a pair of mammary glands are located in each female. The gland contains a glandular tissue and a good deposition of fat is there. Glandular tissue, they contain the variable amount of fat, and the glandular tissue of each breast is divided into 15 to 20 mammary lobes, which containing the cluster of cells. These cluster of cells is known as the alveoli, and these alveoli are the responsible for the secretion of milk. This milk, which get now be secreted by the alveoli, it is now be stored in the cavities. These cavities are known as lumen. Cavities of alveoli are known as lumen. This is the point to be remember for you. The alveoli now be open into the mammary tubules. It means the milk production structure is the alveoli, then milk will go to the lumen, then it will reach to the mammary tubules. The tubules of each lobe join to form a mammary duct. Here in the figure, you can also see that the structure are now be related to one another. The several mammary ducts when get now be joined to form a wider mammary ampulla, which is connected to lactiferous duct, through which the milk get sucked out. And now here you see the sequence of milk conduction. First mammary alveoli, then mammary tubule, then mammary duct, then mammary ampulla, and then lactiferous duct. Here I am giving some enlarged view of the figure, so easily you can see that. You see the mammary lobules are here clustered. There is the alveoli, this structure here, it will produce the milk. Then it will now be come out through these tubules, and it get now be then go to the these mammary ducts. Then this is the ampullary structure, and afterward they will now become here in the lactiferous duct, and they get now be come out through the nipple outside the mammary gland. So I hope that you understand the female reproductive system and the structure and function of mammary gland. If any doubt, then you put in the comments. Thank you.